to the Provincial Congress of New York, the petition of Miss Prudence Holman and Peg de la Montagne of the County of New York. Most humbly we show you that your petitioners during this time of economic upheaval and non-importation are suffering grievously from the scarcity of goods and the outrageous prices being demanded by extortionate merchants, which price for necessities of life threaten to render us destitute. As a mother of 4 young children, it has been quite challenging to raise them and help my husband with the farm at the same time. It has also been quite challenging to feed them and make sure they receive proper nutrients. I, like all mothers, want my children to grow up strong and healthy, and these prices set in place as a result of certain restrictions have made that difficult. There have been occasions where I have been forced to send them to bed without supper. That John Locke once stated, the greatest part of things that are really useful to the life of man, and such as the necessity of subsisting, made the first commoners of the world look after, as it does the Americans now, are generally things of short duration, such as, if they are not consumed by use, will decay and perish of themselves. Gold, silver, and diamonds are things of fancy and agreement that have put value on more than real use in the necessary support of life. Mr. Locke continues into this and brings forth a way for us to see this. I, as a farmer's wife, know how to help my husband make a living with our crops and tradable goods. My husband has claimed his part of the land, which is his right based on the concept introduced by Locke's state of nature philosophy. He can grow crops off the land that nature has provided for him. It all depends on if he gives his profit to trade or hoards the crop to himself. That brings to light to me what those in Parliament are doing to us. They have stopped us from trading with other countries, such as Spain and France, so that we can't even receive the necessities that can help us move forward in our everyday life. My husband and I have 4 children, all who will starve in the coming months if these issues are not corrected. Well-to-do women are not the only ones who will suffer and become widowed or childless if current events lead to war. I would have to become the sole provider for both my children and the farm. I have debts and taxes to pay as well, which I have been unable to keep up with as a result of these trying times. How can you, those who are loyal to the crown, force these acts upon us when some of us are barely getting by as it is? That Thomas Paine states that our corn will catch its price in Europe, because it is in the interest of all of Europe to have America as a free port. Her trade will always be a protection, and her barrenness of gold and silver secure her from invaders. Yet, yes, we are a fairly new land, but how does the age of a land impact the abilities of the citizens within it? We work for, produce for, and work feverishly for the crown, just to end up being exploited and mistreated. Many of our forefathers escaped England and other parts of Europe for these very reasons. And it is unjust that we are being faced with these same issues generations later. Though England is across a massive body of water, we remain loyal and paid any dues the crown has requested. However, recently lines have been crossed and unjust restrictions have been put in place without any regard for who these restrictions are hurting. There is a way to prove a point without leaving people to starve or fall deathly ill as a result of malnutrition. It is your duty as provincial Congress to look out for the people and ensure the life and well-being of all, for how we can defeat the oppressive, tyrannical ways of the crown of our very if our very own governing body won't ensure that we at least have access to the bare minimum required for survival. Gentlemen, we are equal as my good friend Peg Delamontagne spoke upon last week. And I find that if we work together as equals, we can fix our situation with price control, as well as work to make our small colonies into something bigger than what it is now. Your petitioners therefore must humbly pray that the Congress fix and freeze the prices in New York at the level of April 1st, 1775, and that the Committee of Inspection, including the signatories of this petition, be empowered to investigate, identify, and publicize violators of these price controls as enemies of the people. God bless.